Hey there. So I finally got all my seeds in for the this week, and I thought I would do a little seed haul. Is that what the cool kids are calling it? Anyways, I got from 3 different companies, and then I'll still get some from my local feed store up here because they have great seeds up there too, but they don't have them in yet. And I need to get some started. So I ordered from Johnny's Seeds, got a bunch of stuff from there, a lot of lettuce seeds because I can get my specialty lettuce from there, and I really like that. And then I got some different, I got some tomatoes from there because I like some of the hybrid tomatoes that they have. I got some peppers from there because I needed some certain kind of peppers. Ordered a lot from Morgan County Seed. Their selection is wide, and their prices are very, very good. And then I got some from Baker Creek because I couldn't find them anywhere else, and that's what I went with. So, without further ado, let's get going. So we'll start off with some of my lettuces. So, I got some Salanova lettuce. So it's a head lettuce, well, a bunch lettuce, and it's kind of like what you, if you're not familiar with what Salanova is. So it's a lot like what you get in you go to Walmart and go to the produce section back there, and you get the box of the spring lettuce mix. And it's all different, curly and pretty and all that. That's what this is, except it tastes way better. And then Baker Creek always sends you free seeds if you order over a certain amount, or maybe even any. I don't know. I always order a lot. So, anyways, and they sent me lettuce this time, so I'm excited to try this one. It looks like a butter crunch kind. So it's Landis Winter. So I can't wait. I'm going to get that started today. Then I got some more Salanova. And this is an oak leaf green butter. These are pelleted, so they're a lot easier to start. And these I go ahead and start in my little grow center here. That's what I got going right now. I've got lettuce and onions and cabbage and broccoli going. I'm going to set some of the lettuce out into the high tunnel today, so it'll give me a little bit more space on my shelves to get some more. And then I have a mini head lettuce. I'm excited about this one too. It had, I think it's a newer one. It's prismatic. It may not be lit. It's a multi-leaf lettuce, but I think it is, if I remember right. I don't have my notes in front of me. I think it is a slow bolt, so I can have it longer. And then I got some spinach. This is just a hybrid smooth. It's called Seaside. It's an F1. And it, if I remember right, it produces, it has smaller leaves for longer. So, and I like that in my lettuce mix. In my lettuce mix, I usually put lettuce, spinach, and kale. And when I have kale. Then, what else do I have in here? I have broccoli. I have an imperial broccoli and a Monty. Monty, I believe Monty is earlier, and then imperial is a more heat resistant, heat tolerant. And so I'll do the Monty first. I think that's what I have started already. And then after I get that transplanted, then I will go ahead and start the next and maybe have broccoli longer into the season. But right now I think I have, I think I just have one tray. So I have 50 plants going right now. So that'll be enough to get me started. Then what else I have? Oh, because we all know I love flowers. I got some echinacea to go in my flower mix. And then I got some sunflowers because I think think, my mind always changes. I think I'm going to do sunflowers on like my back side of my garden down there. And I may put them in my asparagus bed. So I've got a bed of asparagus that is, I don't know, I'm just babying it. I planted it. I started it from seed, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago. It was doing amazing. And then I planted it beside my high tunnel over at the other place. And then we had this bright idea that we're going to sell that place and move my high tunnel, if you remember that little fiasco. And when I did that, I dug up some of my asparagus. It didn't get it all dug up because I had 75 foot of it. And it was just getting going. So I went and dug up some of those crowns, and it just set them back. So this is year 3 of my asparagus bed, and I don't know, if they don't get going, I may start over. I don't know. I love asparagus. And Maddie is so funny with asparagus. She goes out there and she breaks it off and she'll just eat it out there. So that might be why I'm not getting so much. She's out there all the time and she just eats it. She's a grazer. But anyways, I got these sunflowers. I thought this pretty. Look at that one. I love the Evening Sun is what it's called. Music box mix. Who doesn't like a good music box, right? Where do they come up with these names? And then Autumn Beauty. I love a good flower. And then these are pinky purple echinacea, which I have some of the old-fashioned, the purple daisy looking echinacea. Cone flowers is what I always call them. Anyways, and I like those because they're perennial. They like to come back. I like a good. And then, so last year, I don't know if you kept up with me any at all on my Facebook page, but last year I did a cut flower mix that I just put out in my garden. Just did a whole row of it, like 150 foot of just cut flower mix, and I just sprinkled it out there and ran a drip tape on it, and it was beautiful all year long. And I didn't net it, so I didn't give it any support, and it still was beautiful all the way up until October 11th when when Jace and Grace had their reception, and I was able to provide most of the flowers. I did get some dahlias from Sonia Brown over by well, she used to be at Fairview, but she's on over Pure City area, and some sunflowers from the extra corn maze. So I did that. But anyways, I got 2 bags this time. Cut flower mix. It has all sorts of stuff in it. Last year there were zinnias and cosmos and bachelor's buttons, and gosh, I can't tell you how many different flowers, and it bloomed and bloomed and bloomed and bloomed, and I picked and picked and picked off of them all summer long, and they were just beautiful. So, and I just did 1 bag last year, so I did 2 this year. $12. Money well spent. Will I sell them? Probably not, but I don't care. Let's see, moving on. I got hybrid slicing cucumbers, coriantos. I am planning on putting these in the high tunnel this year, and I will have them earlier. I need to do some research and see when maybe I can start them in the next little bit, because it's not heated in there, so I have to be careful. Then tomatoes. I have heard great things about this Celebrity Plus one. It is a determinate plant, so it only grows so high. It's not my tall climbers like I normally have, but Celebrity is an old variety, and it is very predictable in Missouri. It's a very good. Celebrity has been a really good one, but it's kind of a little bit more prone to diseases. So anyways, they've added, they've done their little magic back in the lab, and they've bred this Celebrity Plus, and it is supposedly, well, I seen the trials, and they are just blow your socks off. Good flavor, they're long lasting, they have a good shelf life. So if you're like me and you sell tomatoes, that's important. Like I look for that in the seed catalog as shelf life. I love a good heirloom tomato. They're lumpy and bumpy, and they taste amazing, but a lot of times they're not great for me to sell, because by the time I pick them, I wash them, I put them on my little shelving system that I've got going here, and then I pack them in a bag. That's a lot of handling, and a lot of those heirloom tomatoes are just fragile. And so I'm excited about this one. Something else I'm doing this year, I did it a couple years ago, is I am having Sean Bishop graft me some tomatoes. And I've got my grafted rootstock here. This wasn't the one he wanted me to get, but the one that they wanted me to get was, all they had left was packages of 1,000, and they were like $400 for the seeds, and for 1,000 seeds. And I didn't want to do that. I don't want 1,000 tomatoes, first of all. Anyway, so this was 100 seeds of, I don't know, it's this big, long, it's a number, but it's rootstock. So how that works, actually, I'll just do a whole other thing on just tomatoes, on rootstock and the grafting process and all that. We'll go into that later. But anyways, it just makes fragile tomatoes better. We'll just throw that out there. Free seeds, also from Baker Creek. I got some Alice's Dream tomatoes. So they look like a tiger stripe tomato. We know I'll be trying that. Where's the rest of my tomato pile? They must be just mixed in here somewhere. So, I got cabbage. So I went with smaller cabbages this year, because everybody likes the smaller ones bigger than the great big ones, right? And I can grow a lot more in a space. So I did the Amaro and the Tierra. So it's a yellow, or a green and a red cabbage. I'm excited about those. I've got 100 of those going. I've got bunching onions going. I think there was 500 seeds here, and I put them all in the flat. And then I already talked about the broccoli. Oh, here's some tomatoes. So Abigail, it is a, I should have brought my notes down. Anyways, this is an indeterminate. I'm sure it's red. It doesn't say that it's not. If I remember right, this is an organic one. I think this one also had good reviews. And then we have the Sun Gold cherry tomatoes. Everybody likes a good cherry tomato. I've got Sun Gold, and then I think in my Maureen County seed, I think I have the black cherry and then just a regular red. So when I have a cherry tomato, I'll have a basket. I'll have a little box of clamshell of like the multicolored cherry tomatoes, and all of these taste amazing. These are all three of these varieties are some of my favorites. I usually put the cherry tomatoes at the front so I can snack as I'm picking. Doesn't everybody place their garden so that they are snacking along the way? And then this other one, it is another new variety that I'm going to try this year. Gosh, 15 seeds. I'm guessing I paid a little bit more than that. These corn guys, and trust me, I know, we paid $250 for a bag of corn. Just one bag of corn, $250. That we're going to feed to cattle. Like, we're not going to feed the corn, we're going to grow it for silage. And, people are grinding. But that's a 50-pound bag. I know I didn't pay $250, but paid a lot. 14 seeds. They're going to do good. They're going to do good. I'm excited. And then I've got carrots. I've got, looks like 2 different varieties of carrots. Fun fact, did you know carrot seeds are extremely small? They are. They are. I think my next investment is going to be one of them James seeders. The ones that you push that like automatically reel out your seeds. Going to be my next investment. Peppers. I have just Lunchbox, the little short Lunchbox ones. This is the Lunchbox series. They are orange, red, and yellow. I'm excited about them. I love a good pack of multicolored peppers. You know, nobody else in my family likes peppers. Well, Riley does, but nobody else does. I've got orange, red, canary, and banana. And I know somewhere I have jalapenos somewhere. But anyways, those are the peppers I got. Then I got some basil. I like planting basil amongst my tomatoes. For one, it smells good in there. Another, it has a little bit of a insect resistant quality to it. So hopefully it'll help with the aphids. Aphids are what I deal with. Aphids and whiteflies are what I deal with the most in my high tunnel. So just keeping those under control. And then I got cilantro and rosemary, just because those are some herbs that I use a lot. And I wanted to try my hand at growing herbs a little bit more this year, be a little bit more intentional with that. Then I have eggplant. This one is a longer, slender, more eggplant that is supposed to be a little bit more tender fleshed. I like eggplant. I like fried eggplant. My mother-in-law would fix eggplant parmesan, and that was such a great, it was so good. And she liked it. She was one of these, and then she also had an eggplant casserole that she did that was really good. And so I always grew eggplant for her. And then since she's passed, I still, that's her plants. I put them out there. I usually just plant 4 or 5, maybe. And sometimes they end up just being a trap crop because the flea beetles really, really, really like eggplant. So if I plant them, they go there and then they leave everything else alone. Got beets. Got a lot of beets. I like beets. I sell a lot of beets. A lot of people like beets. They don't all taste like dirt. That's what Joe says. Radishes. I like getting those in the ground early. I'll probably plant them this weekend. Just to have them. And everything that I plant early, I will cover. So I do a lot of that. Then this is more lettuce. All right, now on to what I got this week from Morgan County Seed. I got cucumbers and squash and Carolina Gold tomatoes. I love those. That's a good tomato. And then my BHN 589. This is just a staple for me. I always grow these. They are they're just a beautiful, consistent tomato for me. They taste good. They are beautiful. They look good. They're uniform, and they just perform and perform and perform. And they are a hybrid, but they do good. Yeah, there's my jalapenos. Good night, Irene. There is a bunch of peppers in there. I don't think I need all of those. And then I got okra seed. I guess I did get some. And then a lot of squash seed. And then more spinach. And then more Celebrity Plus tomato seeds because I think they were cheaper. There. That's why I did that. And then Mountain Magic. black cherry, and then zucchini, and then jade green beans. This is my favorite green bean. It is a round bean. They are usually about six or 7 inches long. They're not really stringy. They don't have a big, they're tender. They stay tender longer, and they're ready in about 60 days. So stick them in the ground. 60, 65 days. I get usually, I don't know, I pick on them for a month or so, and then I just keep succession planting them. And then kale, that's what I was waiting on. I needed to get kale started, and it was in my Morgan County bag. I got more radish seed. I like planting radishes in areas where I had maybe planted other things the year before, because radishes help break up that soil down in there. And then lettuce. I got a lettuce blend. This is just a garden leaf lettuce blend. It's just a cheap blend that I can put out there. There's red and green. There's some oak leaf in there. It's just a pretty blend. And then, of course, the Simpson, black-seeded Simpson. It is just a good spring lettuce. It's ready in 48 days. It's fast. It's just a standard for me. So that pretty much gets that's my seeds. I've got a big table full here. I'll get them organized, and I will start getting them in the ground so I can start getting them to you. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll keep you updated on how we go. Thank you very much.